All right, let's take a look back at this All-Star weekend, not just the NBA, but the NHL as well. First off, shout out to Mac McClung for keeping the NBA dunk contest relevant, representing Orlando. Love that. New format there for the NBA, allowing the TNT inside the NBA crew to kind of select their own teams from the All-Star list. This obviously being their last hurrah with TNT, so I understand that. The NBA going with a different format for the All-Star game itself. But regardless of the format, whether or not you liked it, the NBA's issue with the All-Star game isn't about format or any kind of gimmick. It's more about effort. And if you look over on the NHL side, they replaced their traditional All-Star game with a Four Nations face-off. The Four Nations face-off was a 4-team round-robin tournament, utilizing rosters from the USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. Those are 4 of the top 6 teams in the world right now. Only NHL players were allowed to play in this. And so, this isn't an every year thing. The NHL does plan on bringing back the regular All-Star game format. The NHL kind of using this as a precursor for the Olympics to come, that being the Winter Olympics of 2026 and 2030. And if you remember, no NHL players were allowed to play in 2018 and 2022. So this kind of softening from that stance. They played 7 games in 9 days, and USA and Canada being in the final this Thursday coming up. And it's been clear from the beginning that the effort is through the roof. In the first USA-Canada game, you had 3 fights within the first 9 seconds. The ratings for these games have been similar to that of Stanley Cup Finals games and are up over 300% from a regular season game on ABC. The games have pretty much doubled expectations the NHL set for themselves. So it's been a huge success across the board. Very entertaining, very physical. Yes, there's been some injuries, so I understand that scare. But the NHL sees this as a giant win across the board. We heard a lot of NBA players asked about the current format of the NBA All-Star Game. By the way, Draymond Green saying that he hated it, giving it a 0 on the 1 to 10 scale. KD pointing out that the effort was a little higher than usual, which is true to a point. The games never truly felt competitive regardless. I really don't care what format they use. We just want competition. That's what made the old game so great. It's not that there's not enough talent. The stars of the NBA today are great. They just don't care about All-Star Weekend and they see it as a week off. LeBron, Anthony Edwards, and Giannis not playing because of injury. Fine with that, not giving them a hard time. But speaking of Giannis, in comparison to the NHL All-Star Game, he did mention that he would rather see a World versus USA format for the All-Star Game going forward, putting all the international players against all the American players. The All-Star Game used to be an opportunity to make a statement. Now it's just a vacation. And I can't blame Adam Silver for trying all these wacky ideas. But until you can get the players to care about the game itself, it's always going to fail.